What's going on, everybody? I'm going to show something today that only a few people know that I have or have built, that have seen it in person, or maybe I've shared it to them on the internet. What I got here is a TRX250R crank straightener jig, and it is made to do the cranks with the tins on it as to not damage them when you're straightening it. These have an inherent set of issues all to themselves over any other crank that does not have the tins on it. Honda, they really did themselves a good one on this one. But to do it and to do it right, you know, they make high dollar equipment to do this stuff with, but if you don't have a press that's really good, or a press that's not, you know, straight or something like that, you can still have issues. And it just takes a teeny tiny bit off to get it reading off, you know, because we like to have these things under a thou. I always shoot for under half a thou. So with that being said, what I got here is the straightener that is made out of 1 300 thou plate steel, and it is mounted to a industrial press table, 4 foot by 3 foot, 2 inches thick, with big old thick legs on it, so it probably weighs 800 to 1,000 pounds, super heavy. All of the energy that you put into this, being as solid as it is, goes into the crank, so it doesn't take much, and I'll demonstrate. So basically, I've got it doweled with locators here and bolted to the table so it is solid, and I've got me a whooper. We're in the South. This is a whooper. This ain't a hammer. This is a whooper. We just whoop it into shape. So that's what this is. So once the crank's together, we'll just say that this one's been put together, although it's an old crank. Once I get the width correct, put it on the truant stand, see if it needs to be clocked one way or the other. Let's just say it needs to go clockwise. I've got a crank gear welded to the bottom of this to hold it and drop it into place. Then my top plate goes on, pin goes in, like so. Just basically just give it a little knock. All of that energy goes into that crank and will move it. And it doesn't take much effort to move that crank. Even stiff cranks, you can knock them a long ways. This is polished on the inside here. This is polished on the inside of this piece. So it does not damage those tins. It doesn't dent them. It doesn't do anything to the tins. All it does is move the crank a little bit. So that essentially is what I got. I've got this to where I can put here if I need to do the crank the other direction. All I got to do is drop it in. If I put it on right, drop it the other direction. You know, never goes in when you're trying to get it on the camera, does it? But I'll just do it like that. And then I can put that in there to hold the rod, put the plate on, put it on that side, hit it on that way, and it'll go. So I don't believe in buying the high dollar tools if I can make them. Making them means you got more pride in what you're doing, and the tool is not what makes this work all the time. Sure, high dollar tools are usually good tools, but in this case, if your high dollar crank jig, you know, if you've got an old 50-year-old piece of crap press that's wore out, it's still not going to put it together straight. So basically, this does the job for me. I can straighten a crank and get it to zero, get it as close as anybody else can. Might take a minute or so, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. So I built this several years ago, but I haven't really shown it around. But, you know, if you like doing this kind of stuff, do it. It's what makes the world go around. So hope everybody likes it. And, you know, just let your imagination guide you and run with it. Thanks for watching.